So what if I told you that the art of storytelling is simply as simple as telling them? Like literally, it really is that simple to make stories and to tell stories. there was a post this morning that I saw on LinkedIn. It was a cry of help from a university student that was asking on how they could draft a 2,500 page story that was due tomorrow for their final year of creative writing. And I put in the comments, grab a cup of coffee, grab a friend, could even be your dog. And I've talked to my dog making videos, and just record it. Think about it, guys. What if I told you that one of the biggest inhibitors of storytelling has actually been technology? You know, we have been, since the Gutenberg press, marketers and people have told us that you need to publish a book, you need to go in front of a typewriter and use this medium that's very difficult. It's hard to sit in front of a white piece of paper and tell a story, but you change the dynamic of that and simply share that story with another human being, and then you add a camera to it and record it. You're done. You've taken the things that in your mind are hard and made them ridiculously simple, because it genuinely is that simple. And for sure there's going to be the haters out there that want to say, oh well, it needs to be a published book and you need to be an author, and maybe you do. But if you think about some of the greatest books that were ever written, the Bible, how many people have actually read the Bible? Now, for sure, over the last hundreds of years, people have their own copy. But if you genuinely think about historically the way that the Bible was shared, it was one priest, one pastor, sharing it to congregations of everyone. And even take that to your own life. Here's like an amazing example. So, as I've got a birthday coming up, and one of the things that my mom gave me was a copy of this book here called Barney's Barrel, and it was made in the early 60s. This is one of the first books that my mother read to me when I was a child, and I didn't read this actual book until 45 years later. 45 years later, but I knew the story for 45 years because she read it to me. What's my point? Storytelling is actually simple. You're overthinking it. You don't need a typewriter. You don't need a SEO expert. You really need to break it down to the simplest form that storytelling can be, and you need to think like a child. Kids tell stories all the time, but they don't need to be literate in order to tell stories. We're taught this as children. That's the amazing brilliance of this. So don't overthink it. Just add an iPhone to your conversation and record it. It literally is like that simple. So, for sure, maybe I'm going on a little rant, but I'm so excited about this because to me, this mindset shift has opened up so many opportunities that I'm thinking in my head of being able to connect and pull stories out of people that want to write books in their minds, but what they really want to do is tell stories. One of the things that I noted earlier this weekend on LinkedIn was the numbers. 130 million books have ever been published in the history of mankind. 130 million books. Since day one, since the beginning till now, 130 million books. YouTube, in 14 years, has published 5 billion videos. Now you could say, oh well, this and that, and that's just minutia. You have to focus on this. People remember stories, and whether they're digesting those stories through printed words or an audiobook or a video or face-to-face, it's meme theory. It's the transmission of an idea in your head to the other person's head, and it's that simple. It's like we get stuck overthinking things, thinking that we need to make everything complicated. Storytelling is so simple. We're taught this skill at 2-3 years old. We learn this from our parents. So it's like, don't overthink it. We don't need typewriters. We don't need fancy cameras and microphones and all this kind of other stuff. Just document it, get it done. Because once it's done, then you have options to redo it and refine it and clean it up. You can transcribe it, turn it into a book, record it, clean up the audio. You now have a podcast. Clean up the video, maybe add some fancy stickers or whatever. I mean, I did this video purposely with no glamour or glitz, lower thirds, fancy, well, I don't wear makeup, but you get the point. I wanted to do this video for you guys to show you that if you can take that mind shift and say, look, this is easy, that you're actually are going to be surprised at how fast you start getting better at it. Your first video story, if you will, is going to be terrible. This video you might think is terrible because I'm just going to release this unedited. I'm not going to chop any of it, but because I want you to see how simple the process is. Storytelling is easy when you break it down to its organic components. When we originally told stories, we didn't do them through books. We did them through sight and through our mouths. Keep it that simple, record it, turn it into a book, and be done. All right, hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.